So everyone, I'm the Panda Photographer, and you have heard correctly. New York City is now going to criminalize homeless individuals by harassing and arresting them for being in the subway or on public sidewalk streets. I'm not sure if you saw that, everyone. There's a lot of controversy going on about the mayor's decision to criminalize homelessness when it's the very same system that, mind you, rent is going up, and mind you, this summer rent is about to hit $6,000. So with that said, everyone, why criminalize homeless individuals when you put them in there in the first place? So it doesn't make sense for New York City's mayor and NYPD and human resources to say that, mind you, the homeless is the problem in the city. It is everyone is the problem in this city. So I was watching a broadcast about how they were going to criminalize, which they already started criminalizing, homeless people. Over this past weekend, which I wasn't aware of, a lot of homeless men and women got their belongings taken because they were sleeping. Mind you, no one wants to go in a homeless shelter. No one wants to go to these places because they're dangerous. Not only they're not dangerous, but 10% out of thousands of applicants that are homeless, that are looking for housing, only 10% get into housing. But New York City spends $103 million a year on homeless resources. Mind you, that is grant money coming from the government. So with that said, everyone, they are now going to criminalize homelessness in New York City. So if you're homeless in New York City, well, you're going to jail. I'm going to jail. You're going to jail. Everyone else is going to jail. This is half the city is going to jail. It doesn't make sense that New York City's mayor wants to target homeless people. Yes, you should target the homeless off the subway. Correct. I believe that approach is necessary. But to criminalize homeless for being homeless, when you're the very same system that put us here in the first place, when you increase rent and increase rent for those that cannot afford, guess how much these apartment houses are going to go for? $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, everyone. No one is going to afford that. No one can afford that at this time. And mind you, this summer, rent is going to go up to $6,000. So New York City, and this is why the system is broken, everyone. Fundamentally, they're the ones that put us in this situation, but now want to criminalize us. Why? Because we can't give back to the communities or give back to your pockets? This is why, everyone, the system is broken. This is why we don't rely on the system. This is why we don't care for the system. This is why if you're on EBT, you're part of that statistic. You're part of the system. If you're receiving any services from the city, those are going to get cut. Mind you, there have been people waiting for housing for the last 10 years. There are people that literally reported going into a homeless shelter is like going to jail or a death sentence. You end up being stabbed, robbed, murdered, or you might not even come out of there alive. New York City is aware that these shelters are very inhumane and very unstaffed professionally. They know by providing private security for these shelters, they are not trained security guards to know about mental health services. You're not training these security guards to understand what is and how to deal with someone with a mental crisis. Not even police officers are trained to know what to do in a mental health crisis. This is why you need professional psychologists and people that know what they're doing on the field with the police officers. And yes, they do have this kind of program here in New York City, but it doesn't work. because it puts people right back on the streets. People are forced back on the streets. And mind you, they want to criminalize people for sleeping out on the streets as well. That is just so inhumane. I'm homeless too, everyone. And the mayor wants to put me in jail for being homeless. Does that make sense? For not having a house, you're gonna literally put me in jail for not having an apartment. Does that make any sense? And it makes sounds like this is a dictatorship. This is why New York City is trash. It is no longer the city that was once for the people. And you wonder why there's crime and there's robberies, there's theft. Because you're making it difficult, New York City. And by criminalizing homelessness, you're making it much difficult for those trying to seek houselessness or a job opportunity. By criminalizing someone for being homeless, that is a less opportunity for being hired for a position, for a job. And Mayor Adams claimed that he was at night, or sometimes that the mayor claims that he goes out in outreach. No, you do not. You don't understand what this shit is about, Mr. Mayor. You don't understand the struggle. Stop pretending that you do, but you don't. You see all these construction workers here, everybody? They built in houses that they can't even afford themselves. Half of them are homeless. Half of these construction workers are homeless, Mayor. So you're going to criminalize someone and you have them lose their job now? Because you just criminalized someone, New York City. So with that said, everyone, I'm being forced from New York City to either leave. Mind you, New York City is asking people to leave because they're homeless. So you're telling me, New York City, that if I'm a imagine if I was a New York native and I've been here all my life, and I'm homeless, and you ask me to leave the very city I grew up, was raised in. How unethical and such a violation of human rights to tell me to leave my own city. Look at this guy. Look at this delivery guy blocking traffic in a moped. But with that said, everyone, it is so very inhumane and very unethical for them to criminalize half of New York City. You see these migrants that are selling food out here? They homeless. You're gonna criminalize them too? Like I said, everyone in New York City, half of New York City is homeless. So half of these construction workers that are built in these apartment buildings are homeless. So New York City, are you really going to criminalize homeless people now for literally trying to fight the good fight, but trying to stay alive? You damn know that I damn know that no one cannot afford the fucking rent in this city. Come on now. You claim that you're going to build 500,000 apartments, and you only last year only made 16,000. Wasn't even close. So, ladies and gentlemen, you just got notified, but New York City now is going to criminalize anyone that's homeless. And I guarantee you a bunch of activists from all over the United States are going to come to New York and literally go in front of the White City Hall and protest against the mayor's decision to criminalize homelessness in New York City. That means more people are going to be in jail for a crime they never actually commit. Homelessness is not a crime, everybody. It's a pandemic that humanity, mind you, started and created and causes this effect to continue by increasing rent, taxes, food consumption, food prices, gas, and everything else. It's the very system that increases. I'm not going to repeat it, but you guys understand. It's the very same system that is failing us, that wants to now criminalize us for us trying to make a stand to fight against homelessness. We're trying to prevent homelessness ourselves, and you want to put me in jail? I have no criminal record. Now I'm going to have this is the thing. Some homeless men and women do not have a criminal record, and now they're going to have a criminal record. So what's it going to be? Soliciting, loitering, trespassing? Really? You're going to put that on my record? Ladies and gentlemen, New York City is falling apart. It is never going to recover.